Daftari, counterterrorism and foreign policy expert. Lisa, really good having you on. Terrorism. That's what this is. I'd like to call it that. I'm going to make a couple of statements here, and you tell me where I'm wrong, if anywhere. Iran approved this attack months ago. Iran financed this attack. Iran may have even trained Hamas terrorists to execute this murderous attack. Am I wrong?
All correct. And what's interesting about everything you said, and thank you so much, Eric, because you are one of very few journalists who have this right. Iran is bragging about it. Hamas is bragging about it. But yet, there are progressives, there are leftists, there are journalists, there are mainstream media outlets and platforms that insist on sanitizing this narrative to say there's no connection to Iran's regime. We have no evidence of that, but yet there is so much evidence. As you said, we know that their fingerprints are all over these attacks in sophistication, in complexity. Where have we ever seen any terror proxy, including Hamas, which has had launched many of these terror kind of skirmishes inside inside Israel rather, for many years. We've never seen it to this level. We've never seen it like this.
So, right. Yes, it's never been to this level. And my concern is Hezbollah now is playing around in the northern Israel border for a while. Hezbollah has said if it doesn't stop, maybe they're going to get involved. Hezbollah is a whole nother animal here. I use the word animal. A whole nother murderous thug group here. If they get involved as well, it could get really ugly for Israel. All right?
Well, absolutely. And Hezbollah is another godchild of Iran's regime, actually the first proxy that they supported after coming into power in 1979. The fear here, of course, is that this will be multi-pronged, as it has been already. And we know that in previous months, there have been meetings between these terror organizations and Iran's regime. And actually, they met in Beirut. How convenient for Hezbollah. They don't even need to travel for the meeting. They're right there. So it's obviously that is the threat, that they would try to surround Israel from all sides. Right now, we know that it's coming from the south, but the missiles have traveled north of Tel Aviv into the middle of the country. But again, we're talking about a country the size of New Jersey. We're talking about surrounding it from the north, from the south. Militants, just, monsters. I don't even call them animals, but you know all the details, Eric. It's been horrific. And to really try to again, minimize or dismiss the narrative as anything less than it has been is really a disservice to our ally, Israel.
The disservice to our allies also, it's embarrassing for the administration to somehow constantly point the finger at Israel as being involved in their own destruction here. The Taliban has said they're asking around for passage through to go help the terrorists, Hamas terrorists, and maybe the Hezbollah terrorists. Taliban is another terrorist organization, or are they the government of Afghanistan as Biden tried to implement them?
Right. So there's one common thread here. These are all groups that the United States has emboldened with its very poor foreign policy in the last 3 years. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. There's so much talk of this $6 billion. It's a conspiracy theory. They didn't use that money. It didn't even arrive yet. I mean, it's such bogus. Either they're using that money, or it's the promise or even the talk of that money that gave the Iran regime confidence to write a very generous check to them. They've been funding them all along. So it might have been their last installment that they're spending, or it could be the Biden administration's aid to the Palestinians, which they reinstated after Donald Trump stopped that aid. Why? Because he believed that money was going to terrorism, as it is. So the United States is trying to distance itself, of course, from the Iran narrative of this massacre, because we know that we actually were part of emboldening Iran's regime, taking away vital sanctions from Iran's regime, giving them access to $60 to $80 billion more in oil sales just last year and the year before that. Of course, the talk of going back to an Iran nuclear deal, begging them, pretty please, come back to a deal with us. I mean, all of this adds to emboldening a very, very rogue regime that knows it's playing out the clock while Biden's still in office doing this massacre. All of this is timed. And all of this is strategically planned by Iran.
There's no coincidence. You're 100% right on the timing of this. Of course it is. This is well planned out, well thought out. And if, God help us, if that $80 billion worth of U.S. military equipment that we left behind in Afghanistan makes its way over to, the Gaza Strip, Palestine, or even Lebanon from the other direction with Hezbollah, it's trouble for Israel. Lisa Daftari, thank you for joining us. This isn't going away anytime soon. Appreciate you having you today.